What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this motherfucking YouTube shit. Wow, what the fuck?
What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on YouTube shit. Hey man, say man, we are lit to teach man, turn. Say, to motherfucker, hey, show you outside, big crip in the gang, show you outside shit, man. Free Palestine, free Congo, Russia do your thing, and Texas stand the fuck up. Each day isn't ready to be a better version of yourself. Never let somebody bring that all start back. Never let somebody tell you who you are, but also never put yourself in a position of belong. Then stay humble, zero revolution on the movement. Keep Yahweh first, coming to the black Hebrew Israelite as a real Jew. Alright, let's get you. Alright, boom. Today, to motherfucker, today, show you outside. Big crip in the gang, show you outside shit, man. Gang. Hey, bruh. We living in a world, man, where the internet, man, is really like taking over, man. You know what I'm saying? You can say one thing on the internet, bruh, and everybody hear you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a lot of people are sensitive on the internet. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are sensitive. A lot of people do get angry. A lot of people will crash out over internet. You know what I'm saying? Just cause. But in this video, we got Akademiks goes at basically Kendrick Lamar. Even though it's the TDE member, you know Kendrick Lamar got his cronies. Niggas he got, like them niggas who just gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, feel me? Like I always say, man, it don't matter who you are. Anybody can get touched. But at the end of the day, the motherfucking mic can get touched, but whatever happens after that, the motherfucker can get touched back. And that's in the spiritual world or in the physical world. So, that goes to say, people really spazzing out over Drake and Kendrick. These niggas really got social media platforms and regular people is crashing out over Kendrick and Drake. Is it really that serious? I mean, like, at the end of the day, man, a L is an L, a W is a W. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody can bounce back from a W. I mean, an L, and everybody can lose a W. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, everybody hate losing. Like, who want to be a loser? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be winner. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. Crip. But at the same time, you got to learn from them L's to become a winner. You feel me? So, like, sometimes in that losing mentality, that's where the real winner's at. You know what I'm saying? But you got to understand, bro. They both, like, Akademiks is real close with Drake. Them niggas work for Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kendrick, like, Drake was not gonna go to that concert. Let's be honest. I was around Kendrick and rolled up on that nigga. They said Kendrick a midget though, so I don't know. But like I said, man, I guess Akademiks held his ground. I get a viewpoint of it, and then I got his side of the story. So let's get into it. Crip. Shout out to Hello Yazin Extras. Akademiks get pressed at a Kendrick show by TDE member. You know, they've been having beef because Kendrick and Drake. And after this, we know we're going to look up and see Akademiks' response. But like I said, man, anybody can get touched, and that's just the fact. You know what I'm saying? Take it however you want to take it, but you know you gotta protect yourself at all times. Cause you never know what the fuck can happen.
What's poppin', y'all? It looks like Akademiks actually ended up popping out to a Kendrick show. I mean, they passed by New Jersey. They went to L.A. I think he said he was gonna pull up to Toronto.
He did more than Drake did.
One of the most peculiar dates, he decided to pull up in none other than Detroit, Michigan. And he went out there for a day, and I think he's supposed to come back the day after. But whilst he was out there, he got pushed up on by Kendrick Lamar's team. A couple of different people from Kendrick Lamar's team. Anthony Saleh, who is joined Kendrick's team, I think, a year and a half ago, like right around when this beef was starting. I think before like that, that's when he joined his team. And Dave Free, who's been locked in, I think he's business partners with Kendrick Lamar. And the first thing they talked to him about was like, yo, what's going on? Like, what's with the bias? Because you got to think, man, not only does it feel like, not only is it fact that Akademiks was really, really trying his best to put this narrative around Drake not losing the beef and holding on to that narrative for 6 to 8
but that
months
nigga trying to put that shit together
which
like a
it did not.
motherfucking magician, bitch.
He was not able to hold that up.
He trying to put that shit
but
together,
he also
bitch.
was really pushing like this whole K-bots thing and just associating botting, fake, fraud with Kendrick Lamar. So it's not that he was just on one side. It was that he was actively trying to, or it seemed like he was actively trying to tear down the other side, and that's including his right-hand man, Akademiks TV, a.k.a. Grand Wizard. So he gets talked to about this, and he actually gives a good rebuttal in the first part of this clip.
Because the first thing he said to me, he said, Ak, why you put that boy on your stream? He got me in Drake's case. And I said, dog, you know I've put people on stream that accuse Drake of whatever. You see, that's the thing that, I stand full steadfast on that. I put somebody on my stream named Julian. He said Drake scammed him of millions of dollars. Then you had the K-Boss who said Drake killed him.
Yeah, I mean, he do like, he gives a fair opinion on sometimes. But we know you 100% a Drake fan.
Tell me,
Drake is like Paul.
The person who introduced me to the person who said that you paid for botted streams, I said he's friends of, and I'm going to redact names here. He's friends of people that y'all know, not friends of Drake. Because I don't know if y'all think he like planted him there.
The people that Akademiks is referring to, number one, is there was this guy that was saying that Kendrick Lamar was botting, or he was getting the bots. That's the second guy. He was getting the bots for Kendrick Lamar. And Akademiks brought him on stream, and this was for Not Like Us. When Not Like Us was going crazy, doing all these records, I think it just broke another record recently. Kendrick Lamar was, the K-Bots narrative had already started, and Akademiks brings this guy on. And this kid talks about how he gets fake streams, how he got linked up with Kendrick Lamar's team, etc. And I found this to be a little bit fishy. We weren't able to get full-on confirmation, and that kid just ended up disappearing. I think it was some dude in his late teens, early 20s. I know he couldn't have been older than 23. I don't remember exactly the age that he said, but they were like, yo, why would you bring that guy on? And Akademiks is like, yo, I didn't even get that guy from anybody on Drake's team. Like, I got plugged into that guy through one of y'all's peoples. Then there's another guy. So then he gives a rebuttal by saying, hey, look, I've brought people on that don't make Drake look that good.
Oh, that's probably a different person. I don't know.
We have something to talk about this. So the guy he's talking about is this guy, Julian. This guy, Julian, is, it's very weird. Julian is just a shady dude. He is tied into top 5. He was spending time in Dubai. He's got all these chicks with him in Dubai, and he's flexing this lifestyle. He was involved in crypto. Whenever you hear a bunch of different like buzzwords,
that light-skinned dude,
Dubai,
that weird
Russian models, crypto. You don't know how the guy makes money. He's really young. He's flexing a watch, and he's clout hungry. You already know, like it's like bing, 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 bing. You're getting every single possible red flag. And you're like, okay, this is someone that I should just stay away from. I shouldn't trust anything that they say, etc. So what this guy Julian did is he said that top 5 and Drake scammed him out of millions of dollars. Where he got the millions of dollars, I don't know. But this live didn't make Drake look good. Top
Dubai?
5 was also involved with this top 5 that just recently got now. So those guys had linked up. And this dude Julian, because in the beginning, Akademiks didn't even believe that Julian knew who Drake was. He was like, yo, this guy's just tweaked out. He's just giving me content. Go ahead and perform for my
voice messages. Voice messages.
But he showed him some DMs between him and Drake, and he's like, whoa. And he also showed him some voice notes where Drake is talking to the guy. He's like, yo, you're moving mad. You're tweaking. Like, yo, we got some plays for you. Very, very weird stuff. And it wasn't AI either. So he brought that guy on. That guy didn't make Drake look that good. However, this guy came on a second time, and Akademiks shut that stream down immediately. So after that stream finished, he deleted it. I'm pretty sure it's deleted on that Academy channel. He deleted it on his King Akademiks channel. He just wiped the stream. Now, did he wipe the stream for Kendrick Lamar? I don't think so. So that's one thing that they could have approached him about, but I don't think that they asked him about that or even kept up with that. Then that dude Julian came back a second time when Akademiks was on a call with Top 5. I don't know if it was Pressa as well. And he comes into the call and Akademiks immediately shuts off stream. I was like, what the hell? This is really weird. But then after that, and Akademiks doesn't come on until the next day. Doesn't address it, nothing. After this, some rumors start spreading that this Julian kid passed away, somebody offed him,
He got
frankly,
killed?
and they're trying to tie it to Drake. To be honest, I don't know where the guy's at.
Oh, he got killed?
I don't really care, but there are a lot of other people. A guy like that, a kid like that, he's involved with a lot of shady things,
Wait, he
and
got
there are
killed?
many other people
Yeah,
that
he had a lot of
probably
shady
would want
shit
him knocked
going
off
on.
before
Damn.
Drake. Like, that guy was not a threat to Drake whatsoever. There's also another thing that
Man, that
Akademiks
shit was
didn't mention
wild.
that makes him look even better in terms of like the Drake and
He
being the
died?
media outlet, which he is for sure a media outlet. If people got something to say and they got proof and it's content, he's gonna run it, even if it's on Drake. He brought on that guy that had issues with Gervonta Davis. I forgot the guy's name. And he's like, yo, me and the boy, like that guy that was the biggest Drake fan ever. I did a video on it. I don't even remember what the video was about, but it was just such a weird situation. So this guy used to be locked in with Gervonta Davis, and he would always bring OVO, like, you know, signed goods, whatever the case may be. And then I think Gervonta Davis started having issues with Drake and OVO, but they would get the tickets to the fights for OVO, make sure that they were taken care of. And this guy had DMs with Drake. And he showed these DMs with Drake. He said that he sent Drake like a song, and then Drake cut him off. And then he also talked about Stephon Diggs wanting him to pucker up his lips and give him a peck. I was like, well, what the hell's going on here? But that guy showed proof that he was with Drake, and it didn't make Drake look that great either. It did make that guy look more of like a
some wild shit
stand
is
kind
going
of
on,
like,
bro.
you know, what's going on here. But Drake, that's not something that Drake wanted to be involved in.
I didn't know
either.
that dude
it was
died,
the snitching
though.
thing.
Damn.
Yes, it was the telling thing. So Drake felt like this guy had told on somebody, and he was like, yo, I'm really not trying to,
Don't be like
post
Nipsey.
something that can be interpreted in a certain way from where I come from, whatever. And Akademiks platformed that guy. So I think if people are coming at Akademiks like, yo,
Nah, great.
you're not
Academics
posting or
do be
putting
trying to, like,
anything that could make Drake look
play,
in
like, you know what I'm saying?
a
Be fair
negative
with
way.
it, but
I don't think that's true,
we know he be
unless
on
it's
Drake's side
some
100%.
crazy conspiracy theory, which he's addressed as well. So I think he's right in those replies. Now, in this next clip, they ask him the question that I feel like a lot of people are wondering, which is Akademiks getting paid? And he gives a response on that as well.
And this is the last thing I said, I'm probably going to get off. They free at a moment he asked, and he said, he said, what are you getting from this?
Well, I mean, he get paid from the labels, don't he?
Is he paying you? And that was the most insulting thing and I had conversations with these men for a while. But the very idea that I was like a purchasable commodity was so disgusting. I reminded him, I said, I've been doing this for over 10 years. I've been doing this for over 15 years. How did you think I became me? I said, you knew about me before this shit. How did you think I became? Did you think I was a cheap hoe that just could be born? That was the most insulting thing I could have heard, because his idea was, well, if you're not getting paid by this guy, if Drake ain't paying you, why do you lean that much in that direction? And I was like, I've never gotten paid. Like, the people who I've defended the most, I've never gotten paid from.
Okay.
Now, have my platform benefited? Yeah, of course. But, again, like, we don't do pay for play. Like, you can't buy my pain. I've always said that the moment you can buy my pain, I don't matter. The moment you could buy my pain, I don't matter. Y'all seen Lil Baby was one of my favorite artists. He was my top 3 artists.
He did spaz on that motherfucker.
And I just had to do it. I went on a whole campaign against it. I didn't want to do that. But that's integrity. That's morals. I was getting money with QC. I could have said, well, fuck that. The money's too good. Fuck no. So, that was something that I was a little taken aback by, because I couldn't believe it. And I think Dave Free's a very intelligent guy. I couldn't believe he thought that I was getting paid to maybe have the opinions or the POV that I have. Like, I could be a pawn for Drake or anybody else. That just wouldn't happen.
I understand where Dave Free's coming from. Now, I would never thought that Akademiks was getting paid. I think he just loves Drake that much that he's willing to support him.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about the relationship that Akademiks had with 6ix9ine. Like, Akademiks loves 6ix9ine, and he criticizes him behind the scenes, but he really holds him down when it comes to the public light. And on top of that, whenever a 6ix9ine was being exposed as a total scumbag to any and everybody, he's like, yo, he ratted on this guy, he destroyed this dude in the business deal, he smacked up this chick, he went and smashed some other dude's girl, he's beefing with some other guy in the DR, he rides a boat from the DR to get back into Miami to escape whatever he's doing, and the only thing Akademiks would ever say is, like, listen, I know he's a scumbag with business, so that's why I would never do business with him, but that's my man. So I was like, what the hell? I'm not saying you got to do business with your friends, but if you know your homie's a snake, he's just a snake. He can snake you in any manner of ways, and we haven't seen him do that. I wouldn't ascribe loyalty to 6ix9ine in any way whatsoever.
At all.
But that's just an example of Akademiks riding for somebody without being paid. Sure, you could say Akademiks' platform benefited a ton, and he got opened up to a lot of opportunities in the industry by promoting artists and things like that from his work with 6ix9ine. But we have to be honest and say that in the past 3 years, there's been nothing to gain from 6ix9ine and only things to lose. And he's consistently posted 6ix9ine, spoken positively about him. And I just want to use that example because that's a little bit different from Drake, right? Like, there's a lot to benefit off of Drake. And if 6ix9ine's not paying him and he's still posting him, it just goes to show that I wouldn't say that there's necessarily a level of loyalty, but Akademiks looks up to Drake and admires Drake and glazes Drake a lot more than he ever did 6ix9ine. And now he considers himself cool with Drake. So you would think that if he rode that hard for 6ix9ine, imagine what he's going to do for Drake. So I think with everybody else and Dave Free, I don't think he necessarily thought he was paying him. I just think Dave Free and other people find it inconceivable that somebody would deride and run defense and just try to not seed narratives, try to water narratives against Kendrick Lamar and supporting Drake. If they're like, what other incentive is there? Like, he's like, why would you ride that hard for him? And if you think about it, like, I haven't seen anybody else ride that hard. You could say why people would ride hard for Kendrick, because there's a benefit to taking down Drake. Like, Drake's the biggest guy. People just want to hate on Drake just because. There's also the accusations of, like, the kid stuff. So if you hop on Kendrick's side, there's a lot of views, a lot of, like, positive comments that you're going to get. It's the industry standard to support Kendrick Lamar and to go ride crazy for him. I mean, you could see it. The industry, tours, Super Bowl, everybody else is doing it. So they're looking at it like, yo, what's the deal with Drake? And I think Akademiks is like, yo, I'm just doing it for the love of the game. I'm just deriding Drake for the love of the game. But I do understand him feeling insulted because he has tried to, I wouldn't necessarily, he has tried to be unbiased in terms of platforming people that have other things to say. It's not like he's saying, oh, only positive stuff is going to be mentioned about Drake here. Now, when you move to Akademiks' right-hand man, his page, Akademiks TV, where he approves all of the posts that go out there, maybe not like every single one where he's like, okay, you could put that one up, you could put that one up. But if there's something that he doesn't want posted on there, he would get it removed. Yet that page, I feel like that page is Akademiks' diary. It's him saying what he would love to say, but not get the repercussions for it. And not the repercussions like he's scared or anything, but for his brand, where he's like, oh, I'm not going to be taking Kendrick down like this, but if you do, hey, it is what it is. And like I said, the narrative that I was talking about, Akademiks refused to accept and admit out of his own mouth that Drake lost the beef for nearly a year. it wasn't until 9 months where he's like, yeah, Drake lost. He was always saying like, yo, people believe Drake lost. There's a perception that Drake lost. People think Kendrick might have won. It's like, dog, are we watching the same game? Yeah, Kendrick won. That's all there is to it. And I also look at it like, what amount of money does Drake have to pay for an Akademiks to be willing to compromise himself to just support him? Akademiks is making tens of millions or has made tens of millions of dollars. Drake's not going to pay him tens of millions of dollars to speak positively about him. It's not worth that much. Or is it? I don't know. Maybe it is.
Who knows?
So you're not going to pay the amount that it would take someone to reconsider their morals, because the whole morals thing is cap. That's a fact. Because Akademiks used to talk about, I would never, I wouldn't take gambling sponsorships. I felt like it was leading my audience down the wrong path, this and that. He was trying to ascribe like a certain level of morality to it. The guy's gambling on stake now. And he even said, he's like, I saw Drake on stake. I saw these other people taking them gambling deals. So I said, screw it. So is that really morals if you're just waiting for everybody else? You're like, okay, coast is clear.
Got
then
money
you're
for the
going out
labels,
there.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like
morals is that everybody else is doing it and you're holding off and you're saying, no, I'm not going to take. Like, for example, Sneeko, we got to give the dude credit. He never took a gambling sponsorship because he believes that's against his morals. Now, who knows how much of his brand is tied to having to uphold those morals? You could look at it that way too, but that's an example of when it's tested. If Drake said, yo, here's $250 million, we need you to run crazy press against Kendrick Lamar and support me, would those morals still hold up? That's my question. And of course, we're never going to get an answer, but I've got my own beliefs on that. Now, in this last clip, he gets into looking biased.
Nevertheless, there was some good conversations. I've gotten, I got Anthony's the contact, and hopefully, I told him, I said, listen, throughout the battle, we probably definitely came off very biased, not only because I like Drake and he's my favorite rapper, and anytime my favorite rapper is going against another,
we know you was biased.
He's my favorite rapper, and I'm going to see my favorite rapper win. But you guys lost communications with us at that time because again, whether I preferred Drake or not, if you choose to not clear anything up, like today we're talking, they mentioned a few things I didn't know. But when you choose not to involve yourself in clarifying the narrative gets written without you. It always happens like that. I'm in the media. I know how it goes. So, hopefully, my stance won't change. Drake's my favorite rapper. It won't change ever. Okay. Even if me and Drake beefing, depending on what beef. Because when I hate a nigga, I really hate a nigga. But there's no money that somebody could pay me to make somebody else my favorite rapper. And I hope y'all know that. I'm just a person who like Drake. And it's music. That's for me. It's music.
So here, I get what he's saying. Like, for example, if they were still in communication with Akademiks, if they sent him information, I think he would cover it. If they sent him exclusive information, I think he would present it, just like he did the songs. But it seemed like they were just taking this counter, more of an opposition towards Ak because they were winning on the rest of streamers, content creators, public narrative, that they were like, man, this guy's really, really trying to trash our mans, so we're going to hold off on that. But I don't like that, or I don't agree as well with him trying to say that they lost communication, that's why we look biased. And it's not that they look biased. You look at that Akademiks TV page on IG or on Twitter, and for instance, I like that page because it's really active. You get a lot of information on there. You just have to parse through. You just have to ignore the captions and the way that they try to phrase things.
Yeah, because
that page, anybody reads it. You hand it to anybody and you say, hey, what do you think this page's opinions are? The page's opinions are that Kendrick Lamar is trash. And the level of vitriol that it has towards Kendrick Lamar is on another level. And they're trying to hail Drake as the greatest thing ever, not just in music,
Yeah, they trying to say
every
better tip like Michael Jackson. It's crazy.
Really, really denigrating Kendrick Lamar's
good,
accomplishments
but I don't know
and
about
uplifting
that.
any accomplishment, no matter how tiny it is, by Drake. So that's not something that looks biased, and I don't think communication is going to change that. And that brand is associated with him. It has his name on it. He co-signs it. He says that's his main guy. And I don't think that's going to change. But I think it's a little bit of gaslighting to try and say we lost communication. That's why it seems biased. Unless things on that page start to change now that you're in more communication with them. But I highly doubt that's going to happen. But y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you...
Alright. Let's listen to the horse's mouth. Listen from the horse's mouth. About the situation with TD.
He does even the first part of that too. He does the squabble up. Reincarnated. Woke up, nigga got a broccoli, and that's the thing I gotta say. When people say, why do I go to the concert? Brother, this is my, like, again, just like, and I told Dave Free, because Dave Free was mad passionate. Like, I see, like, his eyes was, like, almost watering. I don't, like, not like he cried, but, like, he seemed passionate. When he was talking to me about, like, some of the lines that may have been crossed. This is my job, gang, okay? I don't know these niggas, and I don't take it that personal, okay? Ain't one of these niggas ever put hands on me. They have said shit about me, and y'all know I'm capable of saying shit about them. So I don't take it that personal. Them niggas clearly have taken it very personal, and I can understand. But Drake has taken it personal too. And I'll get into those conversations. But, yeah, I went to the concert because I think this is going to be one of the biggest and most historic concerts of our lifetime. So I was glad to go. So again, just reviewing it, starts out hot. SZA comes on. Now, the only, and I try to tell people I'm biased. I'm a little biased with the SZA music. I don't know, I know 3 of her songs. Every time I meet a woman, they love SZA. Like, they love SZA. So, me judging her parts of the show is probably biased because I was mostly looking at the crowd to see who's singing along. I didn't know the songs, right? Her first set though, I see good reaction to it. Then they basically just alternate. Kendrick comes back out again, does some more shit, but this time he does a little bit different because he's also like spacing it up, and it's not just high tempo. I love the first part because it was high tempo. It was a damn near sing along. It felt like you were in a party, right? But then he slows it down. He's kind of doing more cuts type records. He's doing different versions of records where it's like, you know, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe feels like it's a build-up and an interpolation with some other shit, but it's only meant for the performance. You've never heard this version before. I think the same with Swimming Pools, probably. And even when they do Mad City, was it Mad City or I think it's Mad City. Either that or Backstreet Freestyle. Like, it's not the normal, no, I think it's Mad City. It's a melody type of joint, okay? So, yeah, all that happens. And, yeah, they kind of switch. And, as I said, I'm watching, there is some dull
put the
moments,
dukes on them
but there's
motherfuckers
always
crashed
moments
out.
that everybody's, like, into it. So, it's like an up and down type of thing.
She can get real crazy,
you know,
real
I might
quick,
also have unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
I just went to the Weeknd concert.
Yeah, you don't want to get stomped out. You're going to be looking like motherfucking rock star with the Nipsey
even though I didn't
brother.
know some of his songs, because some of the pop stuff, like, I
That
didn't know.
was crazy.
But I listened to the entire stadium sing their hearts out for the entire show. And maybe that's my fault to think that's the sign of a really good concert. Right? What I came away with is that I think Dot has new audience that don't know everything. There were certain pockets that turned up for certain shit. When he brought it back to Good Kid, Mad City, I could see that's the core fans. They've been rocking with him for 10 years. I could see a lot of white young kids, they are GNXers. When GNX came on, that's when they're getting into it with their friends. They probably heard a lot of that from TikTok, whatever. You get what I'm saying? Then you had, of course, those international songs, like when he does stuff off Damn. That's his biggest album, currently. Right? And of course, the diss songs went up. You get what I'm saying? Euphoria, all of that. Yeah, I spoke with Two, I guess, first of all, there was two ways I could have done this. I could have just went there and, I mean, people saw me. But I could have just not made an announcement where I was at. But, nigga, I learned this from Kendrick. You got to pop out a show, nigga. So, of course, you know, I was recording from instantly. I wasn't even doing I could have done the 6ix9ine. Let's take the video, leave, and post it.
That's a fact.
Y'all know I could have well aware did
that.
I could have worn shiesty everything. Nigga, I wore my chat nigga jacket, nothing bigger, all the chains. Nigga, I'm not hot of nothing. You feel what I'm saying? My man got the suite. We in this bitch. I spoke to two TD people. I think they're both managers. One was Anthony Sala. He came over.
To Anthony Sala,
basically, they were both kind of speaking about the same thing, which I actually believe, you know, I think maybe the media has a little bit to play into this, but I think both of them, both Drake and Kendrick, have radicalized fans. His objection, he said, yo, some of the stuff on social media and some of the conversation, the shit is over. It's gone too far and getting too far. They're bringing up people's wives, people's kids, and people that are people who are not public figures. Say anything about Dot. It's whatever. But there's other people getting dragged into this that's not public figures. Now, I agree. This battle is over. It's old. But what I can't agree with, when it comes to them having that demeanor, both of y'all are complicit. And that's why I even suggested, well, I ain't saying y'all got to patch it up with Drake, because I don't think he want to patch it up with y'all neither. But y'all should probably try to because most of this is coming from
So Smoke Forever
charged up fan groups or audiences that are super fans of both people. So if y'all say y'all don't want people to talk about y'all wives and y'all this, well, y'all got to realize where this came from. Y'all called a man a pedophile. He said your son or Kendrick's son wasn't his. Then y'all said he got a daughter, which nobody found. Y'all brought it there first. Y'all can't get on the fans. Now, granted, I think what he's saying, and I agree with, the fans need to let this shit go. And he's talking about radical fans, just like still posting about what, still posting, I don't know, some of these guys' family members, but still posting them, still talking about them in whatever derogative light. That's the stuff that, they're like, because I guess, these people have probably seen it and they're like, damn, I'm not a public figure. I can't defend myself. Makes sense. But it is both ways. And I tried to let them know it is both ways. This isn't something where it's only a certain group of people doing it. This is where the battle, or obviously the battle is over, this is where it's at. So if I said the divisiveness in hip-hop, if that still bothers y'all, that should subside on both sides. We'll see.
Man, at the end of the day, man, that was a good rap beef. Kendrick Lamar had just had the banger, nigga. He had the home run.
We chopping it up.
You know what I'm saying? Drake was trying to come back with some good shit, but
we chopping
Kendrick
it
hit
up.
that nigga with the home run.
And
About
first time
times
talking
four,
to him,
nigga.
very reasonable guy. Let me say this, very reasonable guy. His conversation,
I know his team feeling some type of way
from
because
there, because again, I told him, I said, yo, this is both ways. Yo, put it like this.
It is.
I don't see nobody who doxes people more than K-Bots. And here's the thing. When Drake fans do things, they look at Drake to say he's almost orchestrating this. That's how people look at it when Kendrick fans do things. Oh, that's what y'all orchestrate. That's what I'm saying. Most of this shit is fan shit at this point.
Yeah.
So cool. Me and we're chopping it up. And in, speaking about, obviously he's going far, this and third. He also mentions, because at first, when he first walks up, he says, he says, bro, why did you let that kid come on your stream? He lied on me. And he was saying in a way like, yo, bro, you letting Drake run plays to put people on your stream. Now, I have to correct that, and I'm going to stand on this. I won't give up any names. But the person who came on to talk about botted streams, go find the kid, and y'all can find out. Again, I don't want to give up people's names. This was not from Aubrey Drake Graham. That was not from him. That was not from OVO. That's from people who in and around work with Doc. I'll say that. I'm not saying this as innuendo. I'm saying this as facts. I'm not saying that these people work directly, but that's their orbit. That's very important to say. So I said to Mr. Saleh, right, brother.
So Kendrick ordered this?
I get all. What I've realized is that there's a lot of emotions. I don't have no emotions to this shit like this. Y'all can see, I can still bump Euphoria. I don't give a fuck. I had the most successful year in hip-hop that I've ever had. I don't care like that. They do. I could tell he was, I won't use that word, the E word. He was, let's say, passionate. And I said to him, I run a media outlet. When someone brings me that info, we are going to run it. Just like someone came to me and said, Drake scammed me. If I was operating as Drake's little tool or whatever, pawn, I wouldn't have Julian up here trying to explain how he felt top 5 and Drake scammed him out of millions. So the point is, what I told him is that that's how media works, brother. I get y'all are involved with this guy or back and forth, and you're viewing anything that comes out about you to think it's directed from there, but I can tell you it's not. And I've ran things that doesn't make Drake look in a good light, and Drake, he has to know by now, you know who Ak is. I remember telling that to Dave Free. I said, Dave Free, I've been doing this shit way before I covered y'all. I did it back to War and Chirac days, brother. So when you talk about how I view things or how I present things, this ain't nothing I started yesterday.
Yeah, you've been doing
me the same way.
Yeah, you've been doing this act.
So I talked to Mr. Salad.
Give you credit. You've been doing this shit.
I think I can say all this shit. This shit should be private. So he told me, which again, these are allegations, but I'll tell you what he told me. He said, Ak, here's the thing. The reason why even I had to come over here and holler at you, dog, that dude who said that shit, he's lying. I never paid for no body things. I said, well, he sent a screenshot, whatever. I said, maybe he's lying. I don't know. But that's what the kid said. He said, well, that shit has got me in a federal lawsuit now. So what are you talking about? He said, they subpoenaed my phone for Drake's lawsuit. They took it. That is bothersome. Again, that ain't, again, that is something that probably
Dang, got his phone subpoenaed? Damn.
Now, y'all know my demeanor towards Drake's lawsuit. I don't think it will wholly be successful at the end. But then I get a little bit more info.
Oh,
and again,
Drake's lawsuit got the
pop out of
damn.
Because this is where I get, Kendrick's team never talked to me. They stopped talking to me as soon as the bell starts. They stopped, we used to speak some communication. The guy named Kojo, me and Kojo did bad business together. Kojo hasn't said a word to me in the English language since. It is what it is. So here's the thing.
Damn.
Here's the thing. Now I remember because I was having a conversation with them. And if you're hearing this, because when we were speaking directly, face to face, Mr. Dave Free, when I reference to 2022, and I said, because he said, why didn't you hit us up if you're coming today? And I said, brother, why would I hit y'all up if y'all haven't talked to me in years that y'all could line me up? I'd rather catch y'all surprise, even though that's not my energy.
It's like going to LA and linking up with niggas. Hell no, anyway, nigga ain't even a backdoor.
So he said, so remember in 2022 at the Mission Around tour, I was standing right next to you, like I showed you a lot of hospitality. I said, you did.
That bitch solo dolo, nigga. Hell no.
He also said which was a confusing thing. He said, I didn't even know how you got to there. And I was like, huh? I said, brother,
that's like eating up a piranha shark with a steak, nigga.
I said, y'all invited me. And he was like, nah, we never invited you. No, my memory has recollected. I was invited, and you could do the homework on this. 2022 by Kojo. Me and Kojo have done many business together. Number one digital guy, number one blogger. We've ran it up. Don't you worry. He works for y'all exclusively now. Ask him, did you give act tickets to
like, I don't understand that shit when they try to tell people
so if you're wondering, I didn't remember in the moment because I'm like, no, it came from y'all.
Sign up,
he was
nigga.
working
the
for
fuck,
y'all.
Nigga, it's a free ass country, nigga.
That time.
You know what I'm saying? It's a free ass fucking country.
Anyway,
like the
I'm still with Mr. Sally. So what he says
grown ass people.
And this is all news to me, and you got to take it with a grain of salt because, again, because
some of us anyway, a lot of motherfuckers be.
It's the first time I'm hearing these things. It's the first time I'm hearing that they took this guy's phone because now they're looking for these allegations of botting. I didn't know. They don't. They
but that's phone subpoena. Yeah, that would have got me tight. I ain't gonna cap, because that would have been crazy.
Cool. Which, by the way, he claims he's never bought it. So they will find that out.
That phone subpoena would have got me tight.
Also, he made a point that I actually agree with a bit. He said, I'm surprised Drake is doing the corny shit of suing because the same way he don't talk to his label, we don't talk to our label. We just pop up and turn our album in. So how the hell could we be in cahoots with UMG for anything? Okay. So we're continuing to talk because, again, no. This is when, what's the name of that song? Euphoria drops. And I told him, give me one, because we're sitting right next to each other. I said, give me 1 second, sir. I got to go watch Euphoria. I like Euphoria as a song. So I got to go turn on Euphoria. I did that. Got some more drinks. He comes back over. Now we're talking again. So he says to me, because I was saying, I was like, yo, even with you being put into this battle, Drake posted you, right? Like, why are you upset if other people have mentioned you when the two main people dragged other people into it? Well, he said Drake posted me because Drake know me. Now, I don't know what that means. He said he know me. Apparently he's from Toronto too. I don't know. But then he said, here's the thing. He said, you should, and this is what I don't know. And I'm going to ask Drake. I'm like, Drake, is this true? He says, you should have heard this nigga Drake, what he was saying to us before we whipped his ass. This is what he told me.
Damn.
I said, what do you mean? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I never really knew Drake speaking to anybody. Like, Drake has told me he hasn't spoken to Dot directly. But I didn't know about if he spoke to anybody else in and around Dot. Anthony Salah, he confirms to me, yes, Drake was sending me voice notes talking crazy, like he's a mob boss. That's what he says. He says Drake is saying to him, Drake is saying shit like, yo, I'm gonna done you, like just talking crazy, like, yo, you niggas just watch, yo,
really popping this shit.
Like, you guys think you can finish me? Crazy. All of a sudden, they're like, then we drop the bomb, right? Cool. Not like us, they're talking. All right.
Damn.
Then he gives me some more insight, and I ain't gonna lie to you. This was worth going to the concert.
Drake thought it was game. Nah, that nigga was looking for blood, bitch. Crip.
He says, that Pusha T shit is real. He says the only problem is people think that happened recently. That didn't happen recently. He said if it was recently, UMG would let Pusha say whatever he want to say or do what he want to do. Why? Right now, UMG and Drake, their relationship might be irreparably broken because of the lawsuit. They're going at it. So they're not trying to spare his feelings anymore. But he told me last May. He said around June, July, because Drake supposedly approached UMG saying, yo, there's just a shooting at my house. These niggas got my house, which another thing, which again, you know, one point kind of counteracts the other. They say this shit
somebody shoot your bodyguard is insane.
I can see how a nigga might think y'all went too far. Your cover art of the biggest song is his house. Pedophilia pinpoints. But whatever.
I mean, so Drake famous as hell, so everybody knows he stays, but shit.
Because remember, there was a shooting at the crib.
Yeah.
And UMG asked Kendrick's team, could you remove the cover art? We need you to take the cover art down. It got his house on it. We want you to take that down.
That's petty as fuck.
From what I heard, they stood 10 toes down to say, if we do that, the whole song should come down. We're not changing shit. UMG, who clearly is in it for the bread, is like, keep that shit up. Nah, they ain't say that, but like, you know, basically they just allow it, right? Cool. However, while all of this is brewing, apparently that's when the Pusha T thing happens. And that's when UMG, who is really at that point on a rocky relationship with Drake, they're trying to salvage the relationship. They tell Pusha, hey, right now, you can't drop nothing dissing the guy. We're trying to work on our relationship with him. Could you change this? Could you change that? Now, I'll be honest. He didn't say Drake instructed them to do this. He said they were trying to save a relationship with Drake.
I mean, that relationship was gone as soon as he
so
made
they
the
were
song.
being extra sensitive about things that could piss the guy who I guess he was gearing up to sue. Okay? Alright, I'll speed through the story a little bit. Yeah, pretty good conversation with Anthony Silla. Seems like a pretty good dude, pretty smart. He's a business guy. Then Dave Free comes over. And Dave Free comes over. And Dave Free, he's like, yo, hey, let me talk to you for a second, bro. We go talk. And we get into, like, you know, that we've met each other. It was whatever, cool. And you know, his point subsequently ended at this. His point of interest or point of conversation subsequently ended with exactly what Anthony said. But at first, he was kind of like, you know, I felt like he was almost asking me like, yo, bro, like, why are you doing us like that? And I was just like, what do you mean? You know? And I was asking him, I'm like, yo, you do understand I've been doing this for a long time. You understand my POV was going to lie a certain way. What do you mean? Get to a point where eventually he even says, like, bro, how much is he paying you for this? And I'm so stupid. In the moment, I'm thinking, wait, you think Drake paid me to come here? What the fuck? So I think I even said, nigga, nobody knows I'm coming here. Even Drake, nigga, what the fuck? Like, what do you think Drake would pay me to go to a concert? What the fuck? No, then he said, no. I'm like, pay you for all of this shit that you're saying. And I'm like, huh?
Why the fuck you going so hard for Kendrick? Like, what the fuck? Why are you going so hard?
From this? And that's
where you getting from?
I think he's a smart businessman. But that's when I was just like, wait, they thought Drake bought me? I've never been more insulted.
But it's like, where they getting from? What they doing, Kendrick? You know what I'm saying?
Nevertheless, I told him, I said, brother, let me just be honest with you. Most of the people I've supported the most in hip-hop, they've never given me a dime, including Drake. That's not how it works. I said, I'm in media. And I said, this is the reason why you do your thing, you do a great job managing, whatever. I'm in media. My job is not to extort artists. We make, like, and you know,
we should have put shit together
by when people say that. Brother, do I look broke? Like, when y'all see me me. I'm dripping in diamonds. Like, I got the cars. What the fuck? Why do y'all think a rapper could buy me? I shit on rappers. Not saying I can shit on Dot or Drake. When it comes to, nigga, 99% of these rappers don't got what I got. That is so insulting to me. I know how big I get. So I'm like, what? Please don't insult me like that. So I explained to him I've been doing this for a long time. For a very long time. And the idea that I could be paid to say or think
trying to say you was a piggy
or
bank.
move like is absolutely ludicrous. What I did explain to him, though, my platform, it benefits us every time we're the center of everything. And he mentioned, Dot mentions you. Dot could have went crazy and go crazy. And I said, I know. I pointed that out many times. But the idea that I'm getting paid by either side, and by the way, I'm not insinuating that's how they move or that's how they operate with people in the media. I'm not saying that. But I just have to speak for me. I tell them, as long as my platform is in the mix of everything, I always win. Win, lose, or draw. I always win. Other than Dot, the biggest winner of the battle was Big Ack. I don't know what y'all think. So, the point is,
I know he didn't even get no shot.
I had to let him know, I hope that's not what you think is happening. He seems like he understood. And then that's when he went into Anthony Sala's point, which was, he had one direct question for me. He said, the only reason I came to talk to you, because I wanted to know how personal, and this is when I realized, I'm like, some of the shit that Drake said about this guy, and some of the narratives that's continued, it's affected. And I understand why, because these are hurtful things that could affect anybody else. People have said things about me that hurt my feelings as well. He said, I wanted to know, is this just content, or is this something that you're carrying personally?
What the fuck?
And I was kind of like,
you should have reversed on him, Ack. Why the fuck you going so hard for Kendrick? Is Kendrick top? Y'all getting topped off or something? You topping Kendrick off? Like, what the fuck?
The thought.
I would have went hard. Like, what the fuck? Why y'all pressing me? Y'all do the same damn thing. It doesn't know on social media.
He was really interested to know how personal all of this back and forth is to me. Because he said, if it's personal to me, he made it clear it's personal to him. Well, we could get at it. And we got a bunch of people, left, right, and center, him and I both, we could get to it. And I said to the brother, and again, I'm watching him, and, his eyes, I'll say the eyes, it reeks of passion, and I understand why. I said to him, do you think that if it was that personal to me and it was smoke, I would come to your concert? What do you think? If I care that much about whatever you and Drake got, that I said if I see one of y'all niggas, something's gonna happen. Why would I come?
Actually, he's trying to crash out over these niggas. Hell no. Imagine crashing out for some billionaires.
I never said he was crying, but looking him eye to eye, he was passionate as a motherfucker about these things he was speaking about. Again, he landed on the point of there are a lot of things that have continued post-battle that is ultimately hurtful. Narratives, criticisms about people who aren't necessarily public figure. They mention criticisms about certain women that definitely affects them. And I agreed. And I said to him, it feels like, and he knows I said this. By the way, there was a guy, because I guess when Anthony Sala came over, and he had a couple guys with him, and it was about even. I think they doubled back, and they were like, yo, bring two more, and then bring a nigga to record. I don't know. There was another nigga, he's over there like this. He's over there like this. And I'm like, there's no need to record me. I tell the whole story. The whole truth, nothing but the truth. You can't record me. There's no need to record me. I'm the recorder. I will tell the story.
Insane.
I always tell the story. Like, there's nothing where like you put the video up like, that's not what happened. No. So, and I only noticed it because my guy,
they probably waited for some years to go by to cut that shit out.
But really, you could hear the conversation. So, PG Lang got the conversation somewhere. And if anything I'm saying does not reflect the actual reality of the conversation we're having, they have it recorded. They could absolutely put it out. So this guy recording is kind of being like, you know? Again, if I'm saying anything that doesn't match the spirit, the energy, the words, the verbiage, the entire totality of the conversation, I give them permission, they can put it out. Please. So, what else did he say?
Damn. Shit, if you allow it.
So I said to him,
it'd be just like that
some of the stuff
the police radio shit. Fuck 12.
You're saying to me is misguided because you can't say it to him. And I'm saying him I was referring to Drake, which he somewhat conceded to, saying, yeah, that's why also my energy is chill. And by the way, his energy was chill, my energy was chill. No, everybody was chill. I'm like, let's not act, everybody was chill. He says, yeah, like, if I came out here tripping, it would be like I'm doing something or trying to do something to somebody when I really mean for it to be over there. And I said, yeah, I would agree. All in all, again, the final and main question was, is this personal or is this content and business? And I'm sorry, I've never met Drake. I'm sorry. I met Dot one time before he was famous. Brother, there's nobody bigger than the chat. I'm running my shit over here, okay? So whatever y'all call him, what I want to say to both sides, and again, I love Drake. Drake's my man. Like, I love Drake. But, like, again, I'm not a Drake killer. I'm not top 5.
Top 5 on some crazy time and shit, nigga.
I think both sides need to take accountability.
You even sneeze at Drake.
Yes,
Look at Drake.
He do have some accountability to take. But
hey,
y'all can't say why this shit gets to this level.
Hell no.
When
maple syrup?
Y'all kicked it off by saying this man loves kids. Then he also says, well, you're getting yours. Both of those are out of bounds. Both of those are out of bounds. But I've told y'all, this is the beef. This is the beef where if somebody got clipped, I wouldn't be surprised. They're talking on. So I guess I'll leave it at this. Y'all go to Toronto in 2 days. They over there. They over there. Y'all gotta go talk to them.
Is Drake still in Australia?
Don't y'all say Drake don't even do a stream with me. Come on now. Y'all can't talk to me.
Or that nigga go to motherfucking Alaska, bitch. Fuck yeah.
Y'all know where Drake at? Drake know where y'all at? Other than that, man, just keep making y'all money. And by the way, here's the thing. The demeanor was not a demeanor of the winners last night. It wasn't. The performance was. Not the demeanor of anybody else. I do social media, so I know once you open Pandora's box, you can never close it. These fans are going to continue to torment. They're going to continue to bully, harass, dox. You get what I'm saying? They're going to do things way beyond the scope of what maybe two men face-to-face would do.
Yeah.
They're going to do that. But once you open Pandora's box, it's open. And, you know, again, I know I play a very important part in media. So I will get ready to definitely accept that there's a role that maybe platforms like mine has that maybe amplifies some of this Looney Tune behavior. I will say that. But let's be very clear.
Niggas looking like Daffy Duck out here.
Y'all called him a pedophile. He say that man's kid ain't his and it's yours. Y'all man need to go thump it out, shoot it out, figure it out, or keep doing y'all thing.
That's like trying to get these world leaders to fight instead of making a whole fucking nuclear holocaust.
You won. Okay? It ain't that personal to me. But I could tell last night it's very personal. All right? Let's keep it going, chat. We're going to get on with the stream. We're at day 21. Ain't that a Diddy group? Of the Diddy trial. Day 21. And by the way, let me just also say for the last part. Kendrick fans and Drake fans, I hope y'all hear what I'm saying and take this. Because, and by the way, I think as well, Drake feels the same. I think Drake don't want K-Bots posting his kids. I think they don't want him. I know for a fact he don't enjoy when they're digging up fans that went to a concert in Australia and trying to claim that Drake sexually assaulted them and they're underage. That's weird. Same way, like I have confirmation, Kendrick's team is not amused by people consistently talking about his wife. People consistently talking about other people that are ancillary to these guys. So, I don't know if we'll get back to that. But me and Anthony agreed. Yo, I don't care if y'all want to say Dot's album is whack. Okay, cool, we don't care. Dot's tour was whack. We don't care. Dot can't rap. We don't care. Bringing up these other things, but I'm telling you, and I had to tell them, both sides are doing it. So again, I don't know how this de-escalates if both artists aren't willing to come together. In every feud, at some point, there has to be something, not necessarily a truce, but an understanding that the goodwill of the people is to de-escalate this fanfare. Because right now, OVO fans still feel they're fighting on behalf and for the honor of Drake. And the K-Bots, you know how they get down. K-Bots will have your social, the K-Bots leaked my address. That's another thing. You see, as much as, and this is what I was also surprised by when I heard like Dave Free even say some of the stuff, because I'm in this hip hop shit. I don't take it personally. I know I talk shit though. Niggas have leaked my address. It's on Google. We've had rappers who've asked for my address. People tweet it. I understand it comes with it when you get into a certain level of controversy and you start talking a certain way. I then move accordingly and adjust my life. I was very shocked that the guys who call somebody a pedophile is now saying, damn, man, why are niggas still dragging it? What? This is what? Okay. Okay, all right. We are at the trial.
Shit crazy. Alright, we're back. So y'all see from that motherfucking situation, man, they really try to press Act. You know what I'm saying? Act, like I said, is very, he gonna give his opinion. If it's gonna be very biased, he gonna give his opinion. If it's gonna be very flagrant, he gonna give his opinion. You know what I'm saying? I guess they expect to like Drake to ride for Kendrick, like bruh, like everybody not gonna be no Kendrick dick rider. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, Kendrick might be the shit somewhat in LA, but niggas nobody give a fuck everywhere else. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we fuck with Kendrick, but like nigga, at the end of the day, nigga, we got our own states, our own situation. You know what I'm saying? Nobody finna just give up on all the shit they fuck with just to fuck with Kendrick. Like the fuck Kendrick been gone for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like nigga, what the fuck? You think niggas are supposed to just come out of nowhere and put out a motherfucking Kendrick Lamar jersey? out of nowhere. The fuck, niggas are crazy. Like niggas are real like goofies. Like bro really think that a social media platform is gonna really ride for Kendrick when he literally says he gonna ride for Drake every time. Like if you don't if you don't fuck with what Act have to say, don't listen, because that's what he gonna. You obviously looking for trouble if you going on his stream to see what he gonna talk about. But I know his voice do make waves because people repost and post. But at the end of the day, they both was taking shots. You know what I'm saying? People was taking shots at Kendrick. Kendrick team was taking shots at everybody. People from LA was taking shots at everybody for Kendrick. Like, so it's like we all see that. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers gonna fight for they people. But like I said, man, this was the Kendrick Lamar beef. Kendrick Lamar beef with Akademiks and Drake. I hope y'all enjoy it. We out this bitch. Hood, Northside, big crip in it. Gang shit, Northside shit. Out this bitch.
Hey, Dad, you know, dog, when we link up, dog, this shit be legendary. You know this instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.